North Korea is now using a new and more dangerous strategy. For many years, the world thought it understood North Korea's actions. But this old understanding may no longer be true. Things are changing fast, and the situation on the Korean peninsula could be more serious than it has been in a long time. A clear sign of this big change happened recently. North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, ordered the destruction of a large 100-foot arch. This structure was known as the Arch of Reunification and symbolized peace and unity between North and South Korea. By destroying it, Kim Jong-un announced that peaceful unification is now impossible after 75 years. This action signals a major change in North Korea's goals and intentions. In the past, people often saw such acts by Kim Jong-un as just a way to get attention. They believed he would create problems, like blowing something up, to force other countries to talk or give help. This strategy often worked. Countries would try to negotiate to calm things down. People would often just say, "Here he goes again," and quickly move on, thinking it was just a tantrum from a child wanting candy. This made many people tired of North Korea's actions, and they started to ignore them. However, this familiar way of thinking might be wrong now. What if Kim Jong-un is not simply looking for attention this time? What if the destruction of the Peace Arch means something much deeper? Some experts who have visited North Korea are warning that this time could be different. They believe North Korea is becoming even more isolated, backward, and rebellious. We need to consider that the danger might be far greater than we currently imagine. 2. The old story. For many years, the world held a common belief about North Korea. Most people saw its actions as a way to get attention and help from other countries. This was often called the old story because it seemed to repeat itself often. North Korea seemed to follow a clear pattern. First, it would create problems. This often involved testing new weapons, like missiles, or making strong threats to other nations. Such actions would make the world feel worried and increase tensions. Then, just when the situation felt very serious, North Korea would suggest talking. During these discussions, it often asked for things like food, fuel, or money. In exchange, it would offer to stop its aggressive behavior for a while. This was like a child throwing a tantrum to get what it wanted, knowing the parents would eventually give in. This strategy was quite effective for a long time. Many countries would respond to North Korea's demands. They would offer aid or negotiate to calm the situation down and prevent bigger problems. This cycle of causing trouble, then negotiating for benefits, worked to North Korea's advantage. It kept the country on the world's radar and brought some much-needed resources, even though it was a difficult way to get them. However, over the years, the world started to get tired of this pattern. Leaders and citizens alike grew weary of what seemed like endless demands and threats. They felt like they were watching the same play again and again. North Korea's repeated provocations began to lose their power. The country became known as the boy who cried wolf from the old fable. After so many times of causing alarm without major changes, people started to doubt if the danger was truly new or different. They began to think Kim Jong-un was simply seeking attention, just like before. So the world started to ignore North Korea more and more. Other global issues took priority. The old story had been told too many times, and now fewer people were listening seriously. 3. Kim's big idea. Kim Jong-un had a different idea for North Korea, a goal beyond just surviving or getting attention, which was the old way. His true aim was to make his country a normal one. He imagined North Korea becoming a nation that could trade freely with other economies and earn the world's respect as a rightful member of the international community. He believed that having nuclear weapons was the key to achieving this new status. Kim observed other countries that already possessed nuclear weapons. Even some of these nations, which were not close allies with the United States, were still treated with a basic level of respect. Kim thought that if North Korea also developed these powerful weapons, other countries would have no choice but to take them seriously. He believed this would make them treat North Korea as an equal, allowing it to sit at the world's table like an adult nation. This conviction grew stronger after a significant event in 2011. Muammar Gaddafi, the leader of Libya, was brutally killed after he had voluntarily given up his country's nuclear weapons program. This happened just before Kim Jong-un took over as North Korea's leader. Seeing what happened to Gaddafi made Kim Jong-un even more determined to aggressively build his own nuclear arsenal. He went on to test many more missiles in a short time than his father and grandfather had done over 30 years. He was convinced that holding nuclear weapons would secure his country's respect and safety. However, Kim Jong-un was deeply mistaken about how the world, especially the United States, would react to his plan. America had a clear and consistent policy. It would never accept North Korea as a nuclear power. Every U.S. president, from Bill Clinton to George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump, maintained this position. The United States was willing to impose harsh sanctions and even strain its important relationships with major powers like China to prevent North Korea from having nuclear bombs. The one thing America was never willing to accept was a nuclear North Korea. America, for the most part, continued to view North Korea not as a future equal, but more like an undisciplined child. This fundamental misunderstanding of each other's goals created a major conflict. Kim believed his developing nuclear power would force a new kind of respect and lead to a beneficial deal. Yet, the United States had only one non-negotiable condition. North Korea must completely give up all its nuclear weapons. This made Kim's big idea nearly impossible to achieve. 4. A big mistake. Kim Jong-un had a big idea. He thought if North Korea had nuclear weapons, other countries would respect it. He believed America would then treat North Korea as a normal country. Kim thought the U.S. would see that it was too late to stop North Korea from having these weapons. So he thought America would just agree to a deal. He believed this would make North Korea a respected member of the world. He saw a good chance with the U.S. president at that time. Donald Trump was the president. He was known for wanting to make deals. Kim Jong-un felt this was a special time. He thought President Trump would be eager to solve the old problem with North Korea. This seemed like a great opportunity for both sides. So, Kim Jong-un met with President Trump several times. Their first meeting was in Singapore in 2018. Both sides were hopeful, but they did not make a deal. Then they met again in Vietnam in 2019. Still, no agreement was reached. They even tried a third time at the border between North and South Korea later that year. However, a simple problem stopped everything. The United States had one clear condition. North Korea had to give up all its nuclear weapons. America wanted to make sure North Korea had no more weapons of this kind. But Kim Jong-un refused. He would not give up what he saw as his country's strength. Because of this, all the talks failed. For the U.S., it was disappointing, but they had other important things to think about. For Kim Jong-un, it was a very bad blow. He had tried 3 times, even with a president who liked to make deals. Yet nothing worked. This failure left Kim Jong-un in a difficult spot. He had thought his nuclear weapons would bring him respect and deals. Instead, North Korea became even more alone. The world seemed to forget about North Korea as new problems appeared, like the coronavirus pandemic and conflicts with Russia and China. North Korea felt unimportant. Kim's big idea had turned into a big mistake. He needed a new plan. 5. Friends or not? Many people think that North Korea, China, and Russia are close friends. But this idea is not really true. It is a popular myth. There is some truth to it, of course. Without help from China and Russia during the Korean War, North Korea might not exist today. It is also true that China gives North Korea things it needs to live, like oil and food. China does almost 90% of North Korea's trade with other countries. However, their history shows that their relationship is not so simple. It has always been full of problems. For example, Kim Il-sung, North Korea's first leader, asked China and the Soviet Union for their approval before attacking South Korea in 1950. But after he attacked, he waited 3 days to tell China. He even said no to China's help at first. 2 years later, when the war was stuck, Kim was ready to stop fighting. But Mao Zedong, China's leader, said no. He made North Korea fight for another 18 months. After the war, Chinese soldiers stayed in North Korea. Kim Il-sung did not like this. He removed officials who were friendly with China and the Soviet Union from their jobs. For a short time, Mao even thought about making Kim change his ways. These problems never really went away. Later, when China and the Soviet Union argued in the 1960s and 70s, North Korea used this. It changed sides to get the best deal, like a child asking different parents for things. Then things got much worse for North Korea. When the Soviet Union broke apart in 1991, North Korea lost its most important helper. Less than 1 year later, China became friends with South Korea. North Korea then called China a traitor. China and Russia still traded with North Korea, but they stopped giving things away for free. They wanted to be paid in real money. North Korea did not have much money. Over the next 5 years, many people in North Korea died from hunger. Some say up to 15% of the population. China saw this sad situation but did not stop it. Still, China did not let North Korea completely fail. If North Korea fell apart, the United States-backed South Korea could come to China's border. Also, many refugees, perhaps 25 million people, might come into China. To stop these problems, China let trade with North Korea grow slowly in the 2000s. China did not want a war. So, this is not a real friendship. The three countries only share one main goal: to keep North Korea from disappearing. Beyond that, they want different things. China and Russia wanted North Korea to be weak and need their help. This way, North Korea could take up space where the Americans could not be. But North Korea wanted to be strong and independent. It often did things to annoy its neighbors. This complex history shows that the idea of them being close friends is truly a myth. 6. All alone. North Korea often acted in ways that made its powerful neighbors, China and Russia, very angry. These actions showed that the idea of them being close friends was not true. While China helped North Korea survive, it did not want North Korea to cause trouble. China wanted peace, so it could focus on its own growth in the world economy. However, North Korea did not listen to China's requests to be calm. Instead, it did things that seemed to intentionally annoy its main supporter. For example, in 2017, North Korea launched missiles at very inconvenient times for China. Once, it launched missiles just before Chinese President Xi Jinping met United States President Donald Trump in Florida. It also launched missiles before a big speech by President Xi and during a major international event hosted by China. These actions made China look bad to other countries and showed disrespect. North Korea also hurt officials who were friendly with China. Kim Jong-un ordered the execution of his uncle, who had strong ties to China. Later, his half-brother, who lived in a Chinese region, was also killed. These actions further angered Beijing. Because of North Korea's behavior, both China and Russia became very frustrated. They decided to send a strong message. Both countries voted to support the toughest punishments ever against North Korea at the United Nations. These punishments, called sanctions, greatly hurt North Korea's trade. Suddenly, North Korea's economy suffered a lot. It was almost like when the Soviet Union fell in 1991 and North Korea lost its big supporter. With China and Russia actively supporting strict sanctions, North Korea found itself truly alone. Its powerful neighbors had shown that their main goal was stability, not necessarily North Korea's success. This left North Korea isolated from the world, and even from the countries it relied on most. 7. A new plan. After many talks with the United States ended without a deal, Kim Jong-un needed a different way forward. His original plan, which relied on nuclear weapons to gain global respect, had failed. North Korea found itself increasingly isolated. However, a major shift in world events soon presented a new path. The war in Ukraine began. This conflict caused big changes in how countries interacted on the global stage. Russia became more isolated from Western nations. Simultaneously, China's role in world politics grew, and its focus on its own beliefs strengthened. These developments created a new, complex international environment. North Korea quickly recognized this change as a chance for itself. For the last 3 decades, China and Russia had often been frustrated with North Korea. They provided just enough support to prevent its collapse, seeing little other use for their neighbor. Yet, the new global situation changed this view. North Korea suddenly had strategic value again, especially for Russia. Russia was facing international sanctions and needed military support. North Korea could supply weapons. Kim Jong-un's government clearly showed its alignment with Russia. For instance, North Korea was one of only 5 countries that voted against a United Nations resolution condemning Russia's actions in Ukraine, a vote even China chose to avoid. Following this, North Korea began sending missiles, drones, and other military equipment to Russia. In return, Russia provided assistance to North Korea. This help included technical support for launching military satellites. This cooperation helped North Korea break free from its recent isolation, which had been a major problem after its relationship with China and Russia had weakened. This new cooperation was not based on deep trust or friendship. The history between North Korea, China, and Russia was still full of suspicion. Their long-term goals remained very different. However, in this specific moment, their immediate interests aligned. This temporary serving of each other's needs meant North Korea now had renewed support from powerful nations. This return to a dynamic similar to the Cold War era meant North Korea was no longer completely alone. With backing from Russia and China, Kim Jong-un and his country gained new confidence. This changed North Korea's approach, making it more unpredictable than before. The world's previous ideas about North Korea were quickly becoming outdated, leading to a potentially more dangerous future. 8. A dangerous future. North Korea now follows a new path. Its old plan to become a more normal country through talks with the United States failed. This led to a big change in its strategy. Today, North Korea is not alone. It has found new value for Russia and China. This support means North Korea is more sure of itself and more unpredictable. It has less reason to act in ways the world expects. For many years, the world thought North Korea just wanted attention. We believed its actions were always part of a known plan to get help. But this old way of thinking is not useful anymore. Experts say the situation on the Korean peninsula is more dangerous than it has been since the year 1950. North Korea is taking a more aggressive stance. It is not even pretending to want peaceful unity with South Korea. Its leaders have shown this by destroying symbols of peace. With Russia and China giving it a longer leash, North Korea is likely to cause even more trouble. We are already seeing this. North Korea has sent weapons to Russia for its war. In return, Russia has helped North Korea with its military satellites. These countries are not close friends, but their shared interests make North Korea stronger. This new reality makes the future much more risky for everyone. Our understanding of North Korea must change to match its new, dangerous strategy. What new challenges do you think this changed North Korea will bring to the world?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.